Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you my bullet journal spreads from the month of April and how I made them. So first we have the cover page, and the quote on the cover page is "Life is like a cactus, full of pricks, but also very beautiful." So to make the writing thicker I used a felt tip marker, and for all of the spreads I used a fine liner to make all the outlines black. For the other spreads I always used colorful fiber tip markers, so please tell me which do you prefer, the colorful outline or the black outline. And to color in all the spreads I used simple coloring pencils. For the April cover page I wrote April accidentally instead of April, so I added this little cactus in between the P and the I, and in the flower I drew the or. On the bottom I drew different kinds of cactuses. I got the inspiration for a lot of the patterns and shapes off of Pinterest. And on the top I thought it would look weird to put in cactuses, so instead I drew these spider monkey plants instead. I thought it looks nice, and to make it nice I drew the outline with this peach brush pen marker. All the titles of the spreads I drew in this cactus font with these spikes. I colored it in this olive green color. On the right corner of the spread I drew little cactuses, and on the bottom to fill in and make it pretty I drew these little flowers. All the boxes of the calendar I drew in with a fine liner, and instead of using highlighters I used different brush pen markers in shades of green to have more neutral colors instead of bright neon highlighter colors. The next spread is a line a day, which is basically just writing a line every day for the month to have an overview of the month. Sort of like a little journal, but just one line for each day. So what I did, again, I have the Cactus font for the title. And then here as well, I didn't use highlighters, but the brush pen markers with neutral tones. And to fill in the bottom, I drew little cactuses. For the gratitude log, I did basically the same thing as for a line a day, but this spread is for writing something you're grateful for each day. For the mood tracker, I drew 30 different little cactuses, and depending on the mood, you could color each cactus in a different color, different shade of green, and the cactuses have different patterns and different sections, so if you have felt several moods on one day, you can always color different parts of the cactus in a different shade of green. All I did for the habit tracker is draw a cactus in the middle of the page with an owl inside, since there are these owls that live in cactuses, and I thought I'd just add it in. And I drew it in the desert, I drew the sand. To track the habit, I just drew like a bar and sectioned it out into 30 sections, and when I'd finished doing one of my habits, I'd just color in the box each day. So the water tracker is pretty simple. All I did was draw this big cactus and I sectioned it out. Each section is for a different date, and then I'd color each section in a different shade of green depending on how much water I drank. Also, because of the empty space around it, I decided to draw this outline with the peach marker around it to match with the cover page. My idea for the sleep tracker was to draw a cactus, and inside the cactus to write each date. So beside each date I'd draw the spike, and depending on how long I slept, the longer the spike would be. So on the left you can see the hours and the spike lengths. So if I slept less than 6 hours, the spike is only half a box long. If I slept for 6 hours, it's 1 box long. If I slept for 7 hours, it's 1.5 boxes long, and so on, and you get the idea. Also, to fill in the space, I drew 2 little cactuses beside the main cactus. Only during the editing process I noticed that the shade of peach that I used for the outline is a different shade than I was originally using, so that's bad, but whatever. What I did for the to-do list is draw 2 hanging baskets with cactuses inside, hanging down from the title. So beside the hanging basket, I wrote down all the numbers, drew all the tick boxes, and then used, instead of highlighters again, the brush pen markers. To fill in the space on the bottom, I drew this nice swirl, and to make it more interesting, I used a peach marker to draw over that swirl and also over the wires of the hanging baskets. The scripture on the end page is "My soul thirsts for you" from Psalm 63:1. I seen it on the mug before with a cactus, so I thought it would fit for this month's theme. I wrote it out in a thin font using a fine liner, and I highlighted it using brush pen markers. It was my first time doing this in my bullet journal, so what I did was take a bit of newspaper and I mixed in black and green poster paint together to make the green darker and not as bright. So I painted a simple cactus, and after it dried, I outlined the cactus using a fine liner, but be careful because even after drying it out, it can still damage the tip of your fine liner. I cut around the cactus so that you can see the newspaper around it, and then I stuck it into the bullet journal using green and white washi tape. And to fill in the space around the cactus, I drew this bubbly outline using different colored brush pen markers. So this is the end of the video. I hope you like my April spreads. Please tell me whether you prefer the black outline for the spreads or the colorful outline, and which one I should use for my next spreads for the month of May. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and see you all soon. Bye bye.